brighter, but I would also say that the light of the spirit within us is getting dimmer day by day. The ambience of educationists here reminds me of my schools. In the morning prayers, we used to say, "From darkness, lead me into light." And today, this light, which is growing dimmer, of the spirit inside, has been ignored. And without this light, our education remains incomplete. The second step was when I joined the Delhi University, and in the hall there was an etching which said, "Vidya Vinena Shobhite," means that without humility, education is incomplete. When we think that we know everything, then it only boosts the ego. And with that, we get back into ignorance. Something very interesting Socrates said when people said that you're the most learned man in the planet Earth. And he said, "Yes, I know I'm very knowledgeable because I know that I know nothing." So this is where we have to understand that without this humility, we become very dry, very compassionless, and very arbitrary personalities. And education is not all about technology, it is also about the personality which has to develop. Recently, I was in one of these prestigious universities which different speakers showed you on the 20% and so forth in different parts of the BRIC countries. And I was watching a football match between two universities. And obviously, every player, everyone in the audience had his favorite team. But when their favorite team lost, they became so angry, they started shouting, they started breaking furniture, they started throwing beer bottles. And when the police came, instead of retrieving, they started fighting with the police. So it set me thinking that, all these prestigious universities that all the great speakers talked about, what happened to their students, these graduates who had all this technical knowledge, all these PhDs, all these researches and so forth, that they had no control over their anger. And I introspected that where are we going with our education? We are progressing, yes, but in what direction? And what are we leaving behind? And I realized that these institutions that everybody has been talking about, they teach you about how to be successful in your career, but they do not teach you how to love the world. They do not teach you how to become balanced and mature personalities. They do not teach you how to be caring and sharing. They do not teach you how to be peacefully coexist. They do not teach you how to resolve problems in a spirit of sacrifice and tolerance. And they do not teach you how to withstand negativity because they don't have any safety valve within themselves. We cannot get these safety valves from textbooks. These safety valves have to come from the knowledge of the self. And that's what Socrates said, know thyself. And that is what all the ancient cultures have talked about. In China, we had Confucius, Lao Tse. They talked about the energy within us called Qi. They described it like that, or Tao, as Lao Tse mentioned. Also in the Eastern cultures, in Islam, they called it the Ruh. In Christianity, they refer to it as a cool wind of the Holy Ghost. And in India, the ancient scriptures talk about the energy within us at the base of the spine called the Kundalini energy. So we have to connect within. There has to be also the education of the inner system within us. It's not only the education outside, and it has to be the education within. So how do we connect with these safety valves? These safety valves cannot be learned from textbooks. These safety valves can only be learned when we introspect, when we develop our inner being and we start educating ourselves on what is happening in the galaxy within us. Fortunately, in 1970, Her Holiness Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi discovered this safety valve was there at the base of the spine called the Kundalini, and she evolved a method of awakening it called Sahaj Yoga. When this safety valve opened, it opened the innocence, the center of innocence within us at the base of the spine, which is called the Muladhara Chakra. Now, a lot of issues today in education is asking when should we give sex education to children, at what age? But actually, this center is a center of innocence. So when this is awakened, the child gets an innate sense of innocence, respect, understanding of maryadas, and he understands that he's not a sex toy anymore. He has to observe the maryadas. And this grounds us, gives us balance, gives us sense of direction, which we call wisdom. Wisdom is not the same thing as being literate. You may be a very intelligent man, you may have a very high IQ, but you may not be a wise person. And why I say this? Because we see in the recent past, 500 British girls joined ISIS. They came from these very prestigious universities that you so much lauded today. Why did you? Not because they believe in the ideology of Islam, because they wanted adventure. They didn't have a sense of discretion. They didn't have the safety valve to protect them. They'll say, we can do anything we want. We have freedom. So what? So this loss of their discretion is because this chakra within them has not been awakened. And when this chakra is awakened, it automatically awakens 7 other centers within you which are connected to your consciousness, which give you this sense of direction. And the most wonderful thing happens when it comes to the top of the head, which we call the Sahasrara chakra. One of our panels talked about creativity. Now this creativity comes to you, which is called original creativity, when you connect with the collective consciousness, which happens when your attention through the Kundalini rises up to the top of your head. Then the creativity which comes to you is original creativity. And that is when Einstein said, when he bounced on the theory of relativity, he said from somewhere unknown, it dawned upon him. When he was not thinking about it, that's when that creativity. So when you enter that state of collective consciousness, that is when original creativity comes to you. That is when you create a Mona Lisa. That's when you invent a new theory. That's when science crosses its own frontiers. And that is why BRICS Education University is going to set the new dimension for the world to follow. It's not by doing things which everyone else has been doing. It's not by establishing departments that every other university is department. It has to do something new. It has to have a breakthrough in our evolutionary process. And that, madam, is my vision for the BRICS. It's a great opportunity. Let's use it. Thank you very much.